How you doing? Hi. What's up? What up? What up, my people? Hi, it's Watcher DM again, as you know from the title and being here. And yeah, I'm gonna do a little streaming tonight because, yeah, we got a really big, exciting day coming up tomorrow, and I'm full of crazy creative energy right now. As is my prolific writing partner in this crazy, one of my prolific writing partners in this crazy endeavor of ours, Austin Holm. And so I am going to try and swoop some of Austin's time to work on together a little thing. I'm going to pop into the writer's room. And we're going to see if y'all can still hear me while I'm in the writer's room. I think you can. I think you probably. It looks like you can, which is fantastic. Hello, viewer. It's good to see you. So I'm going to bother my friend, Feral Erudite here. Hey, hop into the writer's channel. And we can talk on stream. And we're going to talk on stream. And basically the thinking is, here's the vision. So first I should probably tell you the basic news, which you may already know. Tomorrow, Watcher DM is going to be doing its first Kickstarter. It is technically a quick starter, meaning it runs for 20 days. And we're asking for, I think, a very reasonable portion of the total budget of the project. What we're creating is the Tomb of the Vampire General, which is something I've been very excited to work on. Jesse Brown and Paul Brown are brothers who did Ixth Fantasy, and I was fortunate enough to harangue them into making some more amazing content. And so Jesse, in this case, has written an adventure module for the Quest system, which he runs like every weekend. Like I think he runs multiple games a week of this system called Quest, which you can find at adventure.game. I will put some links somewhere at some point. But yeah, adventure.game will get you that. And then he runs those games on startplaying.games, which you can go to and look for. GMJ is his whole name, all caps, GMJ. That's the DM, the guide, as they call it in Quest. Now, I met Jesse through playing Quest. He went to high school with Andrew Ferguson, who will come back in the story later. So hold on. Oh, Austin, I see you have entered the void. Unmute yourself and speak to me so the people may hear you.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Excellent.
Sweet. Yeah, cool. It looks like, yeah, you're registering on my audio visually. Hello, second viewer. It's good to see you. Speak up in chat if you're here and you want to talk. We're both here, ready to work on some stuff. What are you drumming up to work on tonight, Austin? What's got you excited?
Well, I'm really excited about the thing I just wrote, 2-page dungeon, Cascadian fantasy hex crawl. But tonight I'm working on another 2-page dungeon about moth mummies. Yeah.
I love it. All right, so cool. So let's work on that together. What does that look like? You want to be in Notion writing together, or let's work on that? Yeah. You have headphones, or?
No, I don't. Sorry, I just closed my Facebook. That should be
Okay.
easier.
Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was just making sure you hadn't dropped off the internet, the world, because that happens too.
Yes.
All right, well, while you sort that out, I'm going to finish pitching the line for what we're doing here. So some people may have seen on our Instagram or otherwise on the internet, this amazing image I'm going to pull up on screen here by Paul Brown. This is Spooktoberween Spooktacular. And this is the first of what's going to be a lot of adventures that we're going to create in this format. Now, obviously, this image is not the format, but I can show you the format and the document, basically what's going to be going out. Because it's done, which is wonderful. We have like everything ready to go. So let me that here. Actually, oop. That applicant there. Of course. Exciting stuff. This watching somebody fucking learn how to use their computer. That would be, what is it, Acrobat? Cool. Done. And I'm gonna move it back. Twice. Oh no, too far. Too much. Oh god, still too much. Oh no. Wrong one. Where did it go? Okay, there we go. There. Okay, cool. So what you should be seeing on your screen right now is the layout for the 2-page dungeon in PDF format. So you can see it's a nice wide horizontal format. It's very structured so that the text in each area is very concise and says just what needs to be said. And yeah, we can rip these things out really fast. They're about 1,000 words, so it's a light read. You probably don't even need to read it before you run it. You could literally like skim the instructions, understand the stat blocks, move into the adventure, and just read straight from the pamphlet, which is, I think, just a fantastic format for going to a Halloween party and being like, oh, you got some dice? Yeah, let's throw. You know, like, I don't know, it just seems like a really cool idea. And so, yeah, this is written by Andrew Ferguson, who is the person who introduced me to Jesse, who is the person who ran Tomb of the Vampire General, for me and Andrew and some other people on startplaying.games. And that led to me eventually asking Jesse, like, hey, like, do you ever want to write modules? And he was like, well, not for D&D. And I was like, we don't have to stick to D&D. Like, show me what you got, dude. So he ended up writing this thing, and I've done the editing for it, or I've done the layout for it. Austin's helped with editing, and it's just been an absolute, like, just a treasure of a fucking experience. Like, from learning how to do layout and really think critically about, like, control panel layout and how to deliver this information in a way that's kind of breaks the mold for, I think, a lot of the kind of standard 5e fare that's out there, but really thinking about like how to deliver adventure content in a succinct and really enjoyable way. And so this is the baby that we're giving away so that you can see, our mailing list can see that we have another baby that we'd like your help delivering. And mostly we're doing that so that we can print it, because I really want to get the exercise of printing these modules under the belt so we can start working towards our unannounced, much anticipated, very exciting Weird Tome of Fantasy sometime in 2022. So those are all the babies. Weird word to use. How you doing, Austin? We all set up?
We're set up.
All right, cool. Yep. I think my spiel is over. So I've stuck in my spiel, and I think I can turn off Adobe Acrobat. And a couple of things we can do. So if you want, we can chill out in my browser. I think I can get a browser window up here, and we can Notion and just work on. Like I can write and we can talk. Or
let me throw what I got in the here. You want to get a page ready? What we got here?
Close these tabs
here. I got the page.
Well, I have to show my I have to turn on my browser here because it's browsers in my browser view in OBS is kind of bullshit, but good. So this is the Tomb of the Vampire General Notion that I'm currently on. But you want me to set up the page?
Here, I got it.
Okay, cool. So we're under, this is 2-page adventure, right?
Yeah, Moth Monarchs.
Cool. Let's put a little icon on it. Is there butterflies, you think? Oh, they are. Fucking sick.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. And I think the pitch was, when you first brought this up, it was, we're going to use the artwork from
Yes.
Lady Loralee, which, if you haven't seen the artwork from Lady Loralee that I'm talking about, I will show it on the stream in a minute. But it's so, actually, I'm just going to add it as the cover. Just add it as the cover. Do the thing. It is featured in The Divisible Man, which is our most recent, second most recent 5e module that we created. And it is such a cool, and the art for it is so fucking good. I think this is the big one. What does Heterosarian hierarchs mean?
So, Heterocera, I guess, is another classification for moths, because butterflies have their antennas, and the difference between butterflies and moths is that butterflies' antennas end in little clubs, whereas moths' antennas end in all sorts of weird shit. So they're called Heterocera, like different endings, essentially.
Cool. Do we know
Uh,
why, or do we have like a hypothesis as to why that's the case?
well, it's kind of comes down to the way moths are classified, apparently. It's a bit of a moth is anything that is a Lepidoptera, but is not a butterfly, is a moth.
Wow.
It's such a weird definition, I know.
So okay, so when I read heterosarian hierarchs, what we're saying is that the shape at the end of their antennae defines their caste in society.
I think so, or what type of moth they are.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my kind of thinking here is that you're trying to steal the cadaver of the Moth Emperor, Bombix Mori. I think we're gonna call him here. Um, and so to get into his tomb, you have to visit his lieutenants and like get their keys or something. So I'm thinking like maybe based on different moths, there's like, like there's a white witch moth, like high priestess, and there's like an atlas moth who's like holding up the roof of the whole fucking thing, and there's a death's head moth who's like a necromancer and
Oh
things like
yeah.
that.
Tenedi moths, cloth eating, and alleged to rest. I love that. Holy shit, these are cool. Mulberry treant. Are mulberry trees like a big deal for moths?
Yeah, well, it's the only thing silk moths will eat apparently. So I kind of thought a mulberry grove
Yeah.
would be
And Bombyx
uh,
mori is of course the silk moth,
right.
right?
Exactly.
Silkworm moth.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking too, it might be kind of a fun little curveball to throw into this that like, kind of do that OSR thing a little bit and just throw stuff in there that's really not meant to be found. Like, like little do you know that on this tomb world, hidden deep beneath, there are the cocoons of the next generation of these moth people. And only if you very carefully put together all the clues correctly do you find out about this. But
I think yeah, that's super cool. Um I also kind of like, so moths don't really live, right? They don't sleep. They literally like just
yeah,
go until they die because they can't eat anymore, I think. Isn't it?
depending on the moth.
Oh, okay, certain moths. So
Yeah.
I could imagine that then playing out as in the personality of one of these moths, right? If we figure out if any of these kind of cool moths that you've got, like the white witch or the atlas moth or the death's head or whatever, if any of them have that characteristic, we could make them like famished but insatiable in their actions. They're just like, I'm gonna die soon, like kind of panicked
Yeah.
lifestyle.
I'm pretty sure Bombix Mori doesn't get a mouth. Let me just look that up. The mouth, crazy moth. Um,
Let's ask the internet a bizarre question. Which
they sure
moths
don't.
are born without or are hold on, have no mouths and must scream?
I am a moth and I must scream.
Fucking love that.
Okay.
Luna moth, rosy maple, polyphemus, Atlas and Prometheus, hummingbird, Bella, water producing caterpillar, monarch caterpillar.
Death's Head have proboscis.
What's that?
Death's Head has proboscis,
I don't know what that means.
like a little tube mouth, a straw mouth,
Oh.
drinking nectar.
Hickory horned devil caterpillar.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, so that's actually the thing that like sparked in my mind, right? Is like, where are the caterpillars?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of imagine, and just bear with me on this, like, I kind of imagine that these moths live as like kings and rich people, basically, distant, distanced by their capacity for flight from their, their the progenation, like the next tier of them, right? Like, and they kind of emerge in this place fully formed, not remembering that they were once caterpillars, and just see the caterpillars and worms as like just serfs and total like degenerates and not worth their time or interest, right? And then it's
We
sorry.
we had spoken earlier about doing like a Morlocks thing where like, the degenerate like future descendants who had to live in the fallout of this moth war that doomed their civilization kind of like I don't know. Could
Yeah.
be a thing. You could have a neotenized larval larv.
Neotenized. You're gonna have to use baby words for baby Gabe because I don't know what the fuck neotenized means.
Yeah, it's like when like um certain species only like come into adulthood when you change their environment, like salamanders, for example. So you can keep a
Man.
salamander as a child uh, for its entire lifespan if you just never give it a big enough pond to live in.
Sure.
Um, so in this case, like it would be the kind of thing where like maybe they're the Morlock caterpillar people are just like stuck as stuck in their larval stages. They can never achieve mothdom.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Like, how do we sell that? Like, how does that work in the story? Like, what's the thing that causes that to, and how can the party, or does the party impact that at all? Is that just an adjacent world building thing? I think like if
Yeah.
that's the secret, right, that like actually the party can, by figuring out the puzzle, unlock metamorphosis again, and the first new living moth emperor is born out of the results of the adventure. I think that's a sick like B plot.
It is a very good B plot. It's pretty much A plot, really. I feel like
Might be
stealing
able
the
to
body
do.
of Mothman is a B plot. Uh,
Well, but I like that the stealing the like, and I don't think it should be like the body, like it should be like the product of, right? Like he was a silk moth, so I think like his fine silken wings, right, are desired by some wizard or somebody who's like, oh yeah, these are the most elegant, ways to fly, as like, or something. I don't know. Maybe a bad pitch.
oh, it could be. My original thought was just that you'd be working for Da Vinci, getting the guy from Divisible Man, stealing that mummy.
I love it. So okay, so that's the goal is to steal it for Da Vinci, right? The incentive is you get to keep
The
the
wings.
the not the wings, but like the cloth wing casings that allow flight or whatever, right? Maybe
Hmm.
like or some other treasure, right? Like he's basically I'm trying to bundle a bit of treasure in with this so that the players aren't just like, oh, and then we got paid by the guy, right? Like
Right.
kind of
Right.
cooler if they're like, no, we got down there and there was a shitload of gold stuff that Da Vinci didn't care about. All he wanted was the jewelry and the corpse, right? And
Yeah.
there was this amazing silk jacket, right? The Bombix Mori silk jacket, that's like a smoker's jacket or something, gives you like a +5 charisma or some dumb shit. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Nice. Um. Okay. Here's a pitch. What if there is a cocoon? One of the treasures is a cocoon that a player character can enter into, and they stay there for a month, and then they reemerge as one of their alternate lives, and that's a way of writing out a PC that a player's grown bored with, and they want to play their dwarf battle mage or some shit. So you have this cocoon
Can we
of
just
rebirth.
can we make a blog post about just that concept alone? Because I think that concept alone is so fucking good. Like a rebirth cocoon. I'm just gonna write it into its own article because I think it's a good enough idea that it literally stands on its own.
Sure.
I also think like that's kind of a really cool avenue of investigation is to be like, what are some ways to shake up the I have the same character pool or like I'm not feeling like this character anymore? Kind of how
Mm.
to like different ways to solve that problem. That's a really good one. So I like it. Yeah, I think you should write it down.
All right. Plunk it in.
Plunk it in. Presume flight. The passage between roads should presume the ability to fly, making bipeds feel like wheelchair users in the 1930s. You don't know what this means, but you feel like a wheelchair user in the 1930s.
I had an experience in college where I was on wheels for a brief moment, and holy shit, is the world not built for people in wheelchairs? It's still,
Yeah,
it's terrible.
yeah, no, I know. I used to work with this guy, Ian Smith, who is in a he'll live the rest of his life in a and has lived so far his entire life in a mechanized wheelchair, um, and he is just perpetually like it's his whole goal is to get like any kind of fucking civil like
Yeah,
direction towards support for different abled people and like just having like any kind of affordance for people who aren't just oh yeah 2 legs 2 arms 2 eyes 2 ears it all works
sure
uh
do love going up and down stairs all fucking day.
do you I'll trade you.
Nope. Um,
Yeah, fuck that
but
noise.
yeah, I think one of the things I was thinking we could do with this is maybe divide up the point crawl into like 5 different floors, with each of the different lieutenants having one of the first 4 floors, and then the main guys on top. But there's no stairs or anything. It's just a chute that goes fucking 240 feet up in the air, and every 40 feet there's some tubes running off to the side that lead to the chambers. And so, you need your spider climbs, you need your magic ropes, you need your fly spell just to get around this kind of inhuman moth world.
Gotcha. Yeah, so really play into the verticality problem and
Hmm.
the fact that they just take it for granted, right? That verticality.
Yeah, they would
That's
have absolutely no reason to, except within the larval area, which I presume would be everything on the ground, would be, yeah.
so I
Um,
even that I kind of like the idea that like it's like the ground is not like so much a ground as just a bunch of huge grassy leaves right sticking out from some gravitic center and they kind of just move from leaf to leaf and grass blade to grass blade without really I don't know if that's an idea you're willing to accept, because
Uh,
they climb around, right, and they crawl
mhm.
around and stuff,
Okay, so you're suggesting that perhaps the world has a canopy so thick that you walk on it like it's plains,
like it's ground. Yeah.
and that underneath this canopy, in the branches of the world forest, that's like their Underdark.
Yes.
That's fucking amazing. That's really cool.
You're welcome.
This is the two-page dungeon.
2-page campaign setting. Fuck yourself. We'll
Yeah,
make a whole
right.
world and put it in 2 pages.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, let's slice that down to some readable stuff. Right.
Let's do okay. So one of the things I was kind of, but no, then okay, never mind. That's a whole different thing. Um, why don't we do? Let's do the Tomb of the Moth Monarchs as a two-page dungeon, and then maybe we can modularly. We'll write like a couple other things that are on this planet, and then we can kind of modularly slot those into another kind of over dungeon, which references them all individually.
Hold on. Are we writing another Tomb of the Adventure? Is this another Tomb of the
Uh,
Moth Mummy?
this is a Tomb of the yes.
Fuck me.
I know, right?
I mean,
Okay, well,
what's
here.
interesting is they're all metaphors for transformation too.
All death, man. That's how it goes.
The Tomb of
Um,
the Moth Mummy is set on the world of Luxor 6, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I do want to pitch Memento Bombix Mori as the title
Oh
for
yeah,
this. I think.
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Sorry. I will just change this to be um title. And you should just change the title of the document to the
Sure.
the thing you want. I think Bombix Mori is a great title. Or maybe hold on. Let's roll it around the mouth a bit. Bombix Mori Memento. No.
Maybe Memento Mori, right? Like remember that you will die, right? That was the thing they said.
Who said it?
The Romans. That was like if you had like a triumph. Yeah, look it up. Memento Mori. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. Latin for remember that you have to die.
yeah.
Oh
Uh,
man, this is cool. You know what's crazy is I have always wanted to get. I used to wear a wedding ring, like even when I wasn't married. People would ask me like, "Why are you wearing a wedding ring? Like when you're not married?" Like I just had a band on my ring finger. People would ask me like, "Are you married?" I was like, "Well, I mean, not to a person." They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm married to one fate, just like you." I just recognize that and think about it when I'm wearing my ring.
I am not a ring guy at all. Chelsea got me a wonderful ring years ago that I never wear because I'm A, terrified of losing it, and B, can't stop touching it, and C, I like it drives me nuts when it's on my finger.
Yep, nope, that's each their own.
We've actually talked about for our wedding, I think we're gonna tattoo on our wedding bands versus wearing rings.
That's so fucking metal. I got a friend here in Vancouver who does tattoos, so I'm sure you've got your own people,
Yeah.
but
No, I don't. I don't. Chelsea does, I think, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, but but yeah, I don't know. I told my aunt, I was like, yeah, we're thinking about getting tattoo wedding bands, and she's like, that's very permanent. And I was like, that's so marriage, right? Like, right? Like,
Separate rooms. Separate
yeah,
rooms.
but
If you want a forever marriage, you get separate rooms, just so that you each have your own room. You can sleep wherever you want, but
get a study. That's what I want. I want a library
you okay,
type.
you can have as many rooms as you want in addition, but separate rooms. Like one of them has to be hers, right? Like otherwise the trick doesn't work. So
Do you want a lady cave, Chelsea? Yeah.
every woman wants a lady cave. This is not like a sellable. You don't have to sell it. You say you want an extra room. She's like, I've wanted that my whole life. All women say that. All people say that. I think. Um, Okay, so okay, where are we? So this is set in the world of Luxor 6. Uh, the air. So what is this? The towers of the Moth Monarchs.
Yeah, tower pyramids, maybe.
Hold on. So there's the towers, and then there's the pyramids, right? Because like the tombs are like we're going up this 240-foot tube or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the top of that is the pyramid, right? The tomb itself. Is this the inverted black pyramid, by the way?
If I could write an inverted black pyramid into everything, I would. But I think maybe what if we just did like, okay, what if they're like narrow, tall pyramids? Oh, what have you got here? A hexagonal pyramid? That looks crazy. Um,
Diagonal? Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks cool. Are you there, or did you die? Did the internet die for you? I think the internet may have. Anyway, I'm sure he'll be back soon. I hope you're having as much fun as we are working on this. Cool idea of, yeah, you understood. There you go. The it's the stealing of the corpse of the Emperor of Luxor 6, right? So the Tower of the Moth Monarchs, which I think we're seeing the pyramids at this point of the Moth Monarchs stretch up above the land like clouds, like geometric clouds, right? Um, Below, dense canopy of vegetation grows and feeds the larval common folk. Cut off from their ascension, the larvae become zombified, like really zombified. I guess maybe a little bit, but I think they're like sullen from it, like just like hopeless, right? Sullen and hopeless. Nothing ever changes, bemoan the unchangeable larval. The larvae. Larva. Oh yeah, larvae have become sullen and hopeless. Okay. Cool. Mento Bombix More is set on the world of Luxor 6. Pyramids of the Moth Monarchs stretch up above the land like geometric clouds. Below, a dense canopy of vegetation grows and feeds the larval common folk. Cut off from their ascension, the larvae have become sullen and hopeless. While above, aristocratic. No, I don't feel like they're aristocratic. They're more like godlike, right? They believe themselves to be gods. So the hubristic moths engage in petty drama in the skies above. Our heroes. I think we should definitely quotes heroes here. Heroes are approached by Da Vinci. A multi-dimensional genius and inventor to recover corpse, the mummy, the mummified corpse of, and I guess, let's see, so his name is Bombix Mori, but I think it's totally possible that that we named him in the Divisible Man. Look, blog posts, your 2-page. This is a lot of stuff going on. We have a lot of stuff in production. Holy crap. I can't believe we're making so many things. Sorry, I'll be a bit. Yes. No stress, my doodle. I hear you are back now.
Hello.
Hello.
I just heard from best friend Andrew,
And
and he would like to join us for that playtest on Saturday, which I'm super 100% full steam on now.
fuck yes. He's probably pinging us both. Or maybe not.
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah, here. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
What do we got here? Luxor's Pyramids of the Moth Monarchs, like geometric clouds. That's dope. Dense canopy of vegetation grows. That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
I should have been a writer. Just kidding. I don't have that kind of discipline. And I don't read enough, I think. Recover the mummified corpse of, and I was about to look it up because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but didn't we name him in The Divisible Man?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea anymore.
Yeah,
let's find out.
Yeah, I've got it right here. I'm looking in here right now. So the Lepidoptorium is in. Let's see, where are we?
L1.
It's an L1. Okay, cool.
Mummified moth monarch. This drab but massive specimen. His guy. He was the final emperor of the Light Seekers. That's a good thing to remember. A culture of theo-fascist sentient moths.
Theo-fascist. So let's remember that.
Yeah.
Because this
okay,
is
so
the. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so he's unnamed.
No, yeah, that's great. That's great. He's Bombay smart.
He's got a cult he leads.
Yeah,
we have a name for.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Lost now. Oh. Yeah, so I'm thinking of skewing this for level 7. Sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get. Here we go. This is they call this goth fantasy. I don't know.
Is it gothic fantasy? I don't think it is.
Not really.
I mean, it's almost more like science fantasy.
Yeah,
because of the planetary doodads and hoo-has. We're pretty alien at this point, but we don't have to. I don't think we even have to talk about genre, right?
Yeah, I like it just as a like. This is what the thing. You know what I mean? Like it's like a log line almost.
Sure. But I think the log line should be the log line, right? Like we should have a line that's like, this is a weird moth king's tomb adventure. Like there's not a genre that's going to categorize that, but I think somebody reading it will go like, okay, no, that's weird. Like I get it. Like, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. The Emperor of the Light Seekers.
Yeah.
So are we gonna talk about the Light Seekers much? Or are we gonna put some Light Seeker lore in here? Is that
maybe a little bit? So I'm thinking of light-based puzzles, like maybe doors that only exist in darkness, type of thing.
Okay, a door that only exists in darkness is good.
What about something with mirrors? Mirrors, doors that are unlocked by light.
That could be cool.
Light. Kind of playing around with some eclipse-based stuff, but I don't really know where that leads.
So the reason that moths like zoom around artificial light is because they have an internal like sense of like the angle of the moon that they're supposed to fly at.
Yeah.
It's almost like like a steering mechanism, right? Like they don't have a choice. It's just kind of like when they fly,
Yeah.
they're like, no, the light always has to be at this one angle. And so when they get close to something that's luminous, the angle gets all weird and they fucking orbit it all crazy.
So here's an idea. If these moths live in darkness, how do you feel about what if their natural foes are anti-vampires who are fine in the light but burn if exposed to darkness?
Okay, so that's not anti-vampire, but that is something super cool. What is that? I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, it's a reverse vampire. It's
Do they drink blood?
excellent
Do
question.
they spout blood? I mean, there's a lot when you say vampire. There's a lot implied in that.
That's fair.
Whereas,
That's fair.
I mean, it. I get what you're saying. Yes, on its cover, reverse vampire. Okay, cool. Kind of like how Rick and Morty had reverse giraffe, and you're like just
Yeah.
expected to be
You
like,
all know me. I'm reverse vampire. I burn in darkness. Just need
oh
Keith David to
shit.
play it.
Oh my god.
Um,
What do you know what I would fucking do to get some serious like voice actors to do some shit for us? That would be so much fun.
it would be fun. Oh shit.
Okay, so the sun of Luxor 6 has burned out,
Oh,
right?
go on.
That's what they're living in darkness, right?
Excellent.
Okay. Leaving the moths to live in darkness. Aimless, right? They're unable to navigate at this point anything, really. Does that make sense? So they're hyper drawn to any luminous
Any light.
which the party will need, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. I like that. Um. Yeah. I think okay. If the sun is burnt out though, then I feel like you get into like ice stuff. You know, like there's a heat issue.
It doesn't have to be like an actual burnt out sun, right?
Yeah.
It just
But
can
the
be
sun is
like
dark.
a
Yeah,
dark
whatever.
sun. Like
Yeah.
it emits it, maybe it's not cold. Maybe it has just become a black hole and light no longer escapes it,
Hmm.
right? So it doesn't you don't see it, but it still has all the energy, of a sun.
Darkness as per the spell is cast on the sun.
What's that?
Darkness, as per the spell, is cast on the sun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think we should write that in the description, do you? Just because we could.
No.
Okay, okay.
I think we're still in the brainstorming.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
kind of,
Yeah. Although I am trying to get like some semblance of what an introduction would look like. Because I think like the intro prose, right, kind of establishing the setting
yeah, totally.
is kind of what we're doing here, like this top part.
Yeah.
Cool.
All brainstorming, I think.
What's that?
Yeah, it's all the brainstorming, I think. 'Cause you
Cool.
gotta pick a direction.
Yep. All right, cool. Should we drum up some monsters? I know you've got
Yeah.
some. So you've got some kind of direction for these moth people. Should we find some stat blocks that can work for them, or you're good?
Yeah, well, I think actually Gynostinks and Rock should be good for those two there, White Witch and Atlas Moth.
Perfect.
That said, I was thinking maybe a cloaker. Um, I was just playing around with the Kobold Fight Club, and trying to figure out what encounters for a 7th level party looks like. And the Gynostinks and the Rock are both just barely deadly encounters. So I think if there's something in the point crawl that can give you an advantage, like they each have a weakness, uh, type of thing. If you find that first, then they're a little easier to fight. Then I think both of those could be great encounters. Yeah, the Cloaker I like the stats for. I think it has a lot of great Death's Head stuff to it, but also I'm concerned that it can only team up with 2 Rust monsters before the fight gets crazy.
What do you mean?
So I'm wondering, well, just in terms of like your XP budget for an encounter or whatever, if you add more than like 2 Rust monsters to a Cloaker, it's a pretty lethal encounter for a level 7 party.
Okay.
Shopping for an XRD monster that I think might be good at a bit of a lower level. Like,
I'm sorry, what's that?
shopping for a monster at a bit of a lower CR
Right.
to be the Death's Head guy.
To kind of fight with him? Or is he like...
No, to be that monster, to be the Death's Head Moth.
I see. So, like, I guess maybe let's write all this down so that we know what the fuck we're talking about. So, in here, we're just gonna do a monster list real quick. Monster list. And let's turn it into cool. And so for the monster list, we like Cloaker. For which now? For the
Cloaker, I thought for Death's Head Moth maybe, but it's a CR8.
right.
And one CR8 monster is not really going to challenge a bunch of level 7s.
That's true.
So I thought throw in some Rust monsters to play like sort of
Cloth eaters.
Yeah, Ceratophagia type of cloth eater, bone eater type of.
Got it. Because I was gonna say we could just have like some level 2, like or CR2 priests, right? Some moth priests.
Oh, yeah,
They can.
good idea.
They can destroy cloth too, right? The reverse mend spell or whatever.
Yeah, mending.
I'm just I guess I was just throwing around ideas for what would work. So okay, so let's look at the other ones. So Gynosphinx. You actually have all these listed right here. I'm just gonna steal these. All of these. Move them up here. Okay. So and then what we can do is
Mulberry Treant as well.
Oh yeah, cool. Have it. And then let's put some. So what's the Gynosphinx in terms of whoa. Cool. And it's CR 11. That's 7,200. Let's go 7,200. What's the rock? Do you know?
What CR is it?
Yeah.
It's 11.
Okay.
The guy
Okay, cool. So it's also a 7,200. Cool. And then we're holding off on rust monsters just yet, right? Because I think you said they're too high.
Yeah, they just they add up really quick.
What's their CR?
Well, they're just CR 1/2, but when you start adding monsters to other monsters, and you get the kind of the force multiplier effect of.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, two rust monsters to deal with while they're dealing with this guy sounds like fun.
Yeah, you think so? 2 rust monsters. I think maybe then in that case, maybe we'll have an encounter immediately before that where it's like, yeah, this is the room with 20 rust monsters in it. You have to fight off a cloud of flying rust monsters.
Yeah, that could be fun. Also, rust monsters are deceptively destructive, right? Like they're not hard to kill, but if you don't take care of them right away, they're a fucking problem, right? They're destroying your. I mean, I guess not so much with if they only eat cloth, right? If these are rust monsters who literally destroy cloth, it's not real. It's not going to really inhibit them anyway, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think we should just have them as rust monsters. Maybe like in the first room, there's some some regular kind of small cloth eating moths, and it's kind of like, oh, like what I'm using, and then it's like, okay, now they're flying rust moths, then they're bone eaters, and like it kind of you have a couple kind of ramping ups of the concept of moths
Okay.
eating things.
Yeah, that sounds fun. All right, let me find rust monster on here. So they're CR 1/4,
1/2.
1/2.
I think 1/2. If memory serves.
So they're 100 XP each. 200 XP. And then ceratophagia, horn eater. Larva lives off of ungulate hooves, tortoise shells. What?
Yeah, that's a real thing.
These are the bone-eating larvae.
Yeah, yeah, bone-eating larval moths. Yep, they exist. They are real.
What are we doing for? What do you want to do? Is that the? Are those the rust monsters?
I don't know. I kind of wonder if maybe like want to go in like a shadowy wraith kind of strength draining direction with those. I'm really not certain. Something in this adventure has got to fight like a swarm of poisonous snakes, I think.
What? Why is that? Why do you say that?
Oh, just the flying snake. Well, where is it here? Swarm of flying snakes. What the fuck? There was a swarm. Maybe it's not SRD. What happened to the flying snakes, people? Here they go. They're like CR18. Okay, maybe we won't use that. Never mind.
Well, I mean, anything with enough volume, right? And also, like another thing to consider, right, is like not every fight has to be dangerous, even, right?
True, yeah.
Like it's okay to like do a gimme, right? Where the party's like, oh man, we really stomped the hell out of those guys, and then like, oh, here comes mom, like it's a very fun way to.
Some flying poisonous snakes, and then that's when the maybe those are your cloth eaters. They're just in their frenzy to get at your clothes. They nibble you up.
All right, so let's see here. So Tinidae moth eaters, analog to rust monsters. So you don't want to use rust? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so we want real rust monsters to
Yeah,
be
well,
the Tinidae moths.
I think we'll just give rust monsters a fly speed, and it'll kind of be the yeah.
Okay. Uh, and then this here for the ceratophagia horn eaters. What were you thinking?
I don't know. Kind of think like maybe shadow, the strength drain.
Yeah, shadow could work.
Or maybe, I mean, because it's the larvae that do that, so maybe I should focus more on.
So okay, yeah. So what I was thinking was like, as soon as I realized that they were talking about larvae for this stuff, I was like, we should be doing that down before they get up, right? Like,
Yeah, like the ground level's got to have larvae all over the place.
right, and so they should like be dealing with that, right? And then if they can't fly and like get up onto the pyramid, right? You have some moth fly by. It's probably the deathwing moth, right? Who flies by, scoops up a bunch of larvae and the party, right? And flies them off to the first level or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's there dining on these larvae, right?
Cannibal moth, I love it. Excellent.
Making a soup.
Um,
All right. Mulberry tree ant. So this has to be about the ground, right?
yeah.
Okay, so how do we do that?
I don't know. Don't know. Maybe that's one to leave. Maybe that's, or maybe maybe inside one of these tombs, there's a little internal garden of sentient mulberry trees for when the emperor reawakens in the death world and is hungry for sentient treants.
Cool. All right. What's a tree ant look like in terms of
Oh, jeez. I think they're like 8 or 7 or something.
9? Okay.
Hard fight for level 7s.
5,000. All right. Real quick, I'm gonna crack open my sheets and grab my little calculator here and give it a whirl. Google Sheet. Filter. About this sheet. Counter planning. Okay, cool. So, we're saying what here? It's 4 characters of level 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the first encounter is how many mobs? It's 1.
The first encounter?
Well, just I need a list of them, right? So we're just gonna put the whole list, and the order's not important. So what's the first one we talked about?
White Witch, Gyno Sphinx.
So it's a Gyno Sphinx. And its actual XP is what again?
72 hundo.
Okay. So yeah, that's a
Deadly encounter.
right. So that'll take up 36% of their resource. And then the next one is what? The Rock?
Yeah, the Rock, Atlas Moth, same difficulty.
Okay. And then we've got the Death's Head, right? Which is a Cloaker.
Yeah.
And that's 3,900, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a medium difficulty encounter. I don't think we need to add anything to that. We're giving them 2 deadly encounters, and then they deal with the Cloaker? Seems legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems legit as fuck.
Well,
and
my thinking, too, is that White Witch and Atlas Moth, you should both be able to, like, kind of sneak around a little bit.
Sure. But, like, right, this is just, I'm just doing the calculation, like, if the party goes in and goes whack, 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 right, it's going to be like, and then, okay, so, and then what was the other one? We had, there's a Treant.
Yeah.
And that's another 5,000, I think.
Yep.
Okay, that's a hard encounter. Cool. And then the last one is what now?
Just a cloud of flying rust monsters. Probably, let's say 15 of them.
So 15 rust monster, and the actual XP for 15 rust monsters is 150. Or it's 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a deadly encounter.
Okay, we can walk that back.
Yeah,
maybe
let's
10 rust monsters.
go to 10. Still deadly.
Really?
Yeah, 3750.
Let me just take a little peek here. What do we got? We're talking about rust monsters. Up here. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. I make 10 rust monsters as an easy encounter, right?
No, where are you getting that?
Just on Kobold Fight Club here, because so they're 100 XP each.
Oh, they're 100 XP each. Okay, that's different than what I said originally. So
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense. 10 is a medium encounter. This is according to D&D, like the DM's guide rules.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe do we want to say 12? Maybe should be a nice solid medium encounter.
Well, I realize now I had the wrong XP in there. So let me try it with 15. Because that was the original raise. You wanted 15? Or was it 20?
That's a hard.
That is hard. I think hard's fine, right?
Okay.
So
15?
Yeah, basically what we're looking at with this is 146% of budget for a day's adventuring budget, right? And that's the daily for a party of level 7s. Each character so each character will get 7,325 experience if they defeat everything. crack open a level 7 character real quick. Ooh, Skarner, haven't looked at you. Oh. Skarner Neil. It's fine. Go away. So I think level 7 starts at about 23,000 and goes to 34,000. So that's 3/4 of the way to level 8. Which is
kill
if you kill absolutely everything. And technically, I guess if you defeat all the encounters, right? I don't think like, I don't know. It's up to you, but like if the players can circumvent the encounter, give them the XP, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but if they don't
depending on
encounter it,
dimension. Like, I mean, if you're just like bargaining with something, I think maybe that's you don't get the XP for that necessarily. But if it's like I sneak around it and I take its stuff,
I wonder if that's the bit. Then we should like put the gold, put like the treasure stuff based on the breakdown, right, for the XP per encounter. So if you're playing with gold as XP, get your XP from your gold. Period. Interesting. All right. Well, we don't have to marry ourselves to a decision on that just yet, but we do have a monster list. That's great. We added the tree. Okay, so I think everything is there. Are you sure Rust monsters aren't 200? Oh, you're so right. They're 100 XP. I don't know why I thought there were 2. Going crazy over here. All right. Cool. So, yeah, I think that looks good. And what do we got for fantastical locations?
Well, I think the Canopy Plains is a good, fantastic location.
Okay. What is the lair of the white witch moth look like, or the death's head moth look like? Right? Are these different in some way fundamentally from the tomb that you're heading towards?
I think, are they all part of the same tomb? Maybe. Like, are they just the floors leading up to the, like the pharaoh is entombed with his 4 most trusted lieutenants, who each hold a quarter of the key to his final resting chamber.
Sure.
Um,
But each of them may address their quarter in a different way, right?
right.
So,
Yeah. I think the Atlas Moth should definitely be holding up the roof of his section.
okay.
Like a collapsing spulker or something. Collapsing catacomb.
Collapsing catacomb.
Yeah, held up by the Atlas Moth. And he wants you to take his spot just so he can stretch for a second. Come here and hold this roof up. Just need to go to the washroom. Yeah, his wings are cramped.
Okay. All right. What's the white witch moth? What's her deal?
Her dome? Well, I feel like she's like the court sorcerer, right?
Yep.
Like,
Maybe. Hold on. She's not one without a mouth, right?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. So maybe she's like on like a flower stamen.
She's got a little garden she hangs out in.
No, like she's got a huge garden that she lives in, right? Like,
Okay.
like the
Like
walls of her section are petals, and everything that you live on is a stamen that you're hanging off of or something. I don't know.
See that?
Just thinking about flower parts and like how you would drink out of. And there'd be like a pool in it, right? Where like the nectar pool. In fact, maybe that's it, right? The nectar pools.
Nectar pools, sure. You know, one thing I love about Chinese tombs that I think gets lost a lot when people do tombs, because we always do Egyptian or European or. But there's that thing about the first Chinese emperor's tomb having a river of mercury in it.
Okay. Do you mean like having a river in your tomb? Or do you mean
Yeah,
literally having a river of mercury in your tomb?
yeah. Well, that's what like he had an artificial river of mercury, kind of like a little water feature, but with mercury in his tomb. Um, yeah,
The mercury nectar baths?
nectar baths, terracotta moth armies.
Ooh. That could be that could be the death's head moth. Is a necromancer, but he's practicing like it's like the clay golems, right?
Sure. Yeah,
Out of his
he's got
terracotta moth army.
sure. Should the White Witch maybe be like court astrologer? Like maybe she lives in like an Ori or something?
Or like an observatory.
Yeah. Observatory flower nectar? I
Well,
don't
we
know.
don't have to have just like we can have multiple fantastic locations, right?
Yep.
So,
I guess
so
just an Ori on its own is not really fantastical. That's just it becomes fantastical when you stick a giant moth in it, but otherwise it's a bit.
well, it could be, right? Or it could be like a bug's eye observatory, right? Where like it's yes, it's technically an observatory, but like instead of just having one telescoping lens, it's just a fractured kaleidoscope of lenses, each one looking out to a different like place in the stars.
Yeah, I like that. Like a fly's eye.
Yeah. Fly's Eye Observatory. What do they call that?
The compound eyes, I think. I don't know. What do you call that?
Yeah, they're called compound eyes. There's got to be a really weird fucking scientific name for this bullshit. Omatidia.
Omniorbis.
Omniorbis.
Uh, flies eye. Flies eyes. How many eyes do flies have? 5.
Apposition eyes and superposition eyes. Pseudopupil. Arthropod eye. Omeatidium. Oh, omatidium is just such a great word. I think we should just use it.
Oh wow. Schizocroal compound eye.
What did you just say? Schizocroal?
Yeah, here Chelsea's schizo. Okay, wait. Schizocroal compound eye. Okay. But here the trilobite eye. Scorpion eyes.
Can you chat me that? I cannot type. I cannot spell.
Yes, I had to read it off of Chelsea's.
Hey Chelsea.
She says,
I could hear.
"There you go. It's at the bottom there. In the Notion.
Oh, poop.
What I'm looking at.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I don't know about the
Oh,
rest of this stuff, but schizocroal is a great word. I think a
yep.
schizocroal observatory is a great
Perfect.
sentence.
It's an amazing D&D word too, because it's like I always think of that Kanye West song. Nobody knows what it means. It's provocative.
That's not a Kanye West song.
Is that not?
No, no, no. That's from fucking Fire and Ice with Will Ferrell, where he's talking about lady lumps by the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Oh
Blades of
shit!
Glory is one of the only Will Ferrells I haven't.
Oh, it's so good. It's really good. Very enjoyable film. And it's got a bunch of great bits in it. But anyway, so okay, so fantastic locations. We've got here 5 of them,
Yeah.
which it looks great. I think 5 fantastic locations on a in
Terracotta
a
moth only. Schizocroal Observatory. Those are I'm solid on those.
You're not sold on the Mercury nectar baths.
No, I like Mercury. I love Collapsing Catacomb too. I think Schizochroal Observatory and Terracotta Moth Army are like those are fucking like pulp
We've
magazine covers, like
yeah,
those are
we've hit peak
that's
weirdo.
sorry, peak weirdo, yeah.
Yeah,
That's just kind of like that sounds like something Robert Howard wrote.
yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's great. All right, cool. What are we looking at so far? We're doing pretty good here. We're 316 words in. This is looking pretty good. We haven't even fleshed these out yet. So, okay. And I think by and large, and I could be wrong here, that is kind of all 5 of our combat encounters, right? Like kind of spoken for here. The canopy,
Yeah, I think there's something for each one, pretty much.
yeah, there's canopy planes. You got your moths or your the cloth eaters, right?
Hmm.
Or are those are supposed to be the larvae, right? But we don't have those anymore. Okay, well let's not worry about that. The collapsing catacombs held up by the Atlas moth is the rock. The Mercury nectar baths has the white witch in it, and
I thought you
maybe
were putting her in the observatory.
so we're putting her in the observatory. Then the mulberry tree ants are in the Mercury nectar baths. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Artificial hot tubs of nectar, a mercury river, and a sentient mulberry grove waiting for the hunger of the reborn king.
Yeah, and they desire to be eaten, so they attack you by trying to stuff themselves in your mouth.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, just a tree trying to stuff itself down your face. Eat
Yeah.
me.
Eat me! Like, that's all they do is scream, Eat me!
Yeah.
And like run at you.
Just fucking yeah, they have the dialogue of Bacon from Snake and Bacon. Well,
Yeah.
crumble me up and put me in a salad.
Yes. Oh shit. All right. And then so hold on. So then we've got okay, now I feel like we're missing one. Because we have White Witch, Atlas, and Death's Head. We're missing a
Uh,
4th moth. Am I tripping?
yeah, we don't have a fourth one right now. We do have we could just do three and then have the rest monster moths as I don't know, we'll take it. I should probably go eat dinner.
Oh, okay.
Um but yeah, do you want how do you want to leave this?
I think this is great where it is.
All right, let's do it
It's
and
it's saved. It looks great. Thanks so much. Enjoy your dinner.
oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk later.
Yeah. Say goodbye to the people.
I will.
No. I mean the people on the stream.
Oh, goodbye.
All right. I'll catch you later, man. Bye. All right. Well, that was fun as shit. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. I think that's a really cool work progressando there, and hopefully it is going to be just what I need to get inspired on doing some heckin' art. That is what I'm going to do now. On some tunes. Oh god. Ooh. Can't. Okay. If I'm on that side, I'll lean that way, and it doesn't work. Let's see. First of all, I'm gonna throw on some tunes. What do you have? Want me some lo-fi? Dope. And make a new one. New document. Yeah. It's like a page of paper. Blank. Fresh. Original. Ready to be colored upon. Alright. So, just can that. Start fresh. Oops. The moth world is probably some strange blue color. Together. Nothing. Move these up into the sky a bit so we get a little more room to play with. I'm actually going to group these up. Here. Now we're just going to try and get some... I'll do some shaping this way. I think one of the things I can do here kind of early to make this look a little more spacious. Let's see. Try it again. Yeah, it looks a little bit more distant. This down just a bit so it's a little bit implied. I feel like we need a good background sky color now. Something kind of sinister. Fuck. Did that, didn't I? Find a color, lose a color. Guess they... Grab one of these. Of course, it doesn't work with this, so that's not going to work anymore. Probably fine. Bring this down a bit so it's more that, and then with this. I think the right way to do this actually. Can that whole idea. Instead, I grab a brush. A nice big soft brush. I'm on the wrong layer. Just do this. And then I'll get this pink. Nice big bright pink. I made a mistake in that I used the pink instead of the light pink. That's what I should have done. Our ground layer here. This in front. Gonna put this in front. Duplicate it. Flip it horizontally. Move it over. Thank you. Oh, I'm working on the wrong layer. Yeah, I think I have to get rid of this thing on the ground here. Kinda sucks, but I'll have to find a way to live with myself, because that's what we do. Keep on living. An alien planet. Giant. Into this layer, I think. It. Oh, that's almost everything. Oh, that's super weird. It cut off the thing at the top. Sounds right though. Now what I can do is between these different layers, I can add this filter here. I don't like the way this filter works right now, but I like the premise of it. It's kind of it's like the right thing to do, but it's the wrong. I feel like this is too bright now, given the context. I definitely feel like it's a better night scene, or I don't know how to describe it, but like, I feel like, yeah, that kind of haziness right there. That's the right color. Because I probably need to like scratch this, just kind of rework up the ground, figure out how to do the ground right. That's okay. This is fine. A fine start actually to what I want. Tasty. Nothing interesting on the internet tonight, I guess. I guess maybe I could take the last 20 minutes of the stream and do some classic D&D Q&A. Good times had by all. That would not probably be the stinkiest thing I ever did. So I kind of like the idea there here that so we're accumulating, let's see. So this is the top group one, which should have one layer of obscurement in front of it, and this is the most behind one, right? We should have two. Kind of see how it kind of vanishes into the background there. Maybe a little bit too much, TBH. It's fine, it looks good. And then this one over here, like if I duplicate this and I put this here, now we've got kind of 3 layers of obscurement, I guess. I feel like this can be brought down a bit. And I feel like this one can definitely be brought down a bit. And I feel like this one can be brought down just a bit too. Also, I don't feel like these are doing all the work that it needs to be done now that I kind of have a concept of what this is supposed to look like. I think I'm actually just going to select this whole layer, wipe it out, and we're going to go from this kind of rose color to the transparent. Just try and get a full spread now. That should mean I can toss these out, and then we'll just duplicate this, step it back here, duplicate this, step it back here, and now we've kind of got the 3 things working there. I also think I can pick this and probably move it down and over a little bit, so it's a little more. Center is not the right place for it, I think. Take camera right a little bit. This. That's all. Okay, almost. Now this technically needs to go like back here, right? Because it's comes in through the atmosphere. And then this layer is actually where I'm probably going to do kind of most of the painting proper, because I really want to get this right here. Huh. It's kind of an interesting problem. Like, you think about how... Yeah, I guess when you really think about it, the way that this is going to look, right, is going to be closer to the default color of the sky. That's interesting. I'm going to do some more groundwork here. More painting on the ground. No, not that ground, this ground. I think. Kind of crazy how much that sells the illusion, right? And then, okay, so then what I feel like needs to happen, right, is that we get another layer of this. Goes up and behind. Different. Flip it. Snip. Grab this one. This one goes way back. Interesting, I guess. In some ways the lights come. These all should try this here. I select all three of these, edit, transform, flip horizontal. Whoa. Okay. I don't know why, but that looks way crazier now. It looks like they're like attacking the planet, right? Fucking crazy. And then I think from this, right, we get this kind of like there can be some kind of crazy ground shadows. I'll have to do those front ones later. Fuck, that's crazy. Alright. What are we calling this thing? Memento. Bombix? Mori? Memento Mori. Remember, you're gonna die. Alright. Get into... Okay, I'm in the right folder. I need my naming thing. Memento Bombix Mori. Make a new folder. Memento Bombix Mori. It's so cute. Such a cute name. And we will name this Luxor 6. What I like about this kind of illustration is that it's really going to serve to kind of set a mood and a tone. And I think if we can get this right, it's going to feel very cool. This is starting to feel pretty right though. We'll see what Austin has to say about it. I'll go ahead and export this. Drop it on Dropbox. Or, you know what I meant. Probably not. Man, that's fucking cool. So, imagining for a moment that this wasn't just going to be a big planet drawing thing. If I wanted to conceptualize what it might look like. Shit, did I? Wonder if that's the wrong size. God, I'm gonna feel like an idiot if that's the wrong size. I was wondering why the paintbrush was so big. Oh well. Alright. I'm gonna read me one heckin' Dungeons and Dragons question. Stop this crazy music shit. Probably get me fucking deplatformed anyway. Man, I gotta say, yeah, I miss my buddy JD, and he's missing, and that sucks. I hope he's alright. If you know where JD is, say the fucking word. Great. If he was found and it was okay. Great. The World According to Fish. It's a great map. Alright, so I'm going to go to, where is it, groups? Why am I groups at? I always have the hardest time finding this shit. Did they change? Did Facebook change? So weird, I feel like the layout's totally different right now. Strange. Okay. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh, interesting. Alright, let's see. This is not, this is like all of my groups. I kind of just want my one group. Dungeon Master Resources. Let's start here. Kyle Pagnano says, okay, so I need help with this. I've checked and I can't find anything that supports this, but my players seem absolutely positive it's a thing. I want to make sure it's not before I bring it up. I've also looked up sage advice and found that the opposite is true. Can my players use passive perception instead of a low roll? This seems stupid and cheesy to me, but they seem to believe it is written rule somewhere. I know passive is, well, passive, and sets a baseline for what you notice. If you notice it, with passive, there's no need for a roll. But when they say, I look around for specific thing number 1, and I say roll for it, and they get a 2+ mods, which is a hard fail, and they say, oh, I use passive. That's not logical or fun. Yeah, neither is making them roll for a thing they're looking for specifically when they would have seen it with the passive perception. So, yeah, veto it. Also, if they need to find the thing and they look specifically for the thing, unless it's really well hidden, give it to them. Like, oh, cool, you find it. You looked for the thing. You know exactly the thing to look for. Seems really odd to, I don't know. Seems weird. So thank you for asking that question. That's a good question. I'm sorry that I don't have better answer for you than don't be a dick. Joseph Ham. Please delete this if not allowed. It's not allowed. Posted 13 hours ago. Okay, DMs. Would a beholder be too much for a group of 3 level 11 adventurers? I know the CR rating is a little high, but I would be open to needing it a little. Options, please. It looks like, so I can speak from my own experience. I threw a group of it was 4 level 8s at a beholder. They won. Like, kind of depends on how you play the beholder. Beholders by definition only have like, I think 2 or 3 of their rays can do like actual damage. The rest of them are status effects. So if you're rolling the dice, which the DMG tells you to do for beholders, you are likely going to get a non-lethal result. But that's not to say that they're pushovers by any means. They're supposed to be played kind of as geniuses who are like really difficult to kill. Unfortunately, the randomness of the eye stalks makes that kind of a hard sell, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, I think by that, like, in my opinion, yeah, they will slaughter it in 3 rounds. Somebody said, like, they're pretty killable. It's a pretty killable monster. The coolest thing it's got going for it is flight for escaping, and staying out of range, which it should use. But yeah, like, I would say using the lair actions and like being more like the place you fight a beholder is the more interesting part of the beholder fight, if that makes any sense. So that's my opinion. But yeah, they should be able to handle it at level 11, I think. Fine. And Christina Criticow posted yesterday at 12:49 a.m. Good morning, Christina. A powerful dark elf samurai I drew a while ago. Character Zune Mizrim, dark elf samurai. Here, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen. You can see what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Bench. Actually, this is fine. Here. Schlap. Schlap. This is the samurai. Isn't that cool? Good looking samurai. Nice job. Fourth daughter born to House Mizrim of the Spider Clan. Like that. Zune was raised, or is that Shune? Shune was raised to become a samurai, and was the custom of her noble station, as was the custom of her noble station in life. Shanae had stern but loving upbringing. This changed when a rival house, House Duskerin, poisoned her and her sisters, leaving them incapacitated and unable to protect their master and mother. Eventually. Shanae and her sisters decided to accept exile for their dishonor, but made a pact to return in a decade to avenge their mother's death. Shanae now wanders the lands working as a mercenary, putting on an air of a devil-may-care attitude, drunk in order to lull her enemies into letting down their guards as she bides her time. What do you think? Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff, man. It's alright. I like it. I always like it when people do D&D things and then make a heckin' art about them. What the fuck is going on in this chat? Okay, yeah, that's not a chat for streaming. All right. Well, looks like all things D&D. This one's always got some interesting stuff in it. Cosmic inspired dice. That's always cool. How do you come up with short riddles? Not like a list of old riddles. How do you make new ones? One face with too many eyes. 3 stare down before you surmise. A certain code is what you need. Which one of 3 opens to proceed? Daniel Schroeds 4 minutes ago. One face with too many eyes. 3 stare down before you surmise. A certain code is what you need. Which one of 3 opens to proceed? Yeah, I got no fucking clue, dude. But I like your riddle. How do I come up with them? I don't. I pay writers to come up with them because I'm bad at riddles. Good at answering them, largely, except for that one. Question for all of you by Larry Sellers 6 minutes ago. Had an interesting thing happen, and I wasn't sure how it worked mechanically. How does Hunter's Mark work on creatures that plane shift, i.e. phase spiders? In the moment, I ruled that the mark disappeared. Am I wrong? Yeah, I don't think... Fairly certain Hunter's Mark doesn't require them to be on the same plane. And I don't think shifting to another plane and then coming back removes it. But I could be wrong. That's a good question. Nope. None of that. Non-lethal campaign. Definitely have done that. I think it's a cool idea, actually, Don McIntyre. Yeah. Can I type here? We ran our Humblewood campaign as Disney style, meaning no deaths. So one of the did actually expire. Kind of a thing. Which actually I guess means that we didn't do a very good job running it. Maybe I don't want to post that. I don't want to get fucking hate on the internet. I already get enough. Druid, can I take a tavern brawl? Can I take tavern brawler? What kind of improvised weapons would you like us to make out of your plan? Funny. A DM is unprejudiced above all. Interesting. All right. Well, I think that's all that we're going to get to today. It's 2 hours and 5 minutes. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with Watcher DM. Please don't forget to check us out on watcherdm.com. Follow us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We also have a Patreon if you want to chip in there. And our Kickstarter is going off tomorrow, so please check us out tomorrow morning. And go get our Kickstarter, Tomb of the Vampire General. At our highest tier, you get a PDF of every single module we've created, which at this point I think is 6 published modules, plus a 7th one and an 8th one coming in November. So come hop on the wagon, get on the mailing list, and you will get free, well-written adventure modules for some really weird shit. You can see how some of that sausage is made in this stream, and if you become a patron, you can become involved in sausage making and work through some of these ideas with us, like moth mummies and planets with dark suns and all kinds of cool shit. And yeah, I hope we'll see you there. I love you.